of the day to you, wherever it is you are watching Bold TV, beautiful, outstanding ladies with disabilities television, right here on your Facebook and YouTube screen this Saturday morning. We thank you for joining us. We thank you for staying tuned to the Bold TV, ensuring that we bring to you issues around women and girls with disabilities every Saturday morning, and you are there to view, to like, to share, to comment. We sincerely want to appreciate you. And today we bring you no less the best of how we do it here on your program. My name is Oluwatomisin Adeyefa. I'm a broadcast journalist based in Abeokuta, the capital of Ogun State. I'm a visually impaired person. I'm a sexual and gender-based violence advocate, the executive director of Popular Abilities Foundation, and also a disability inclusion facilitator. Feels really nice to be here. And I am your anchor for today's edition of Bold TV. My co-hosts are not on the set with me, but I am not still going to be doing it all alone. We have an expert in the house, and together we shall be talking about a topic of discourse very shortly. I'll just like my guest to kindly introduce herself. Let's get to meet you. What's your name? Where are you based? What do you do? And then thereafter, we can dive into the topic of the day.
I am Dr. JCM Mercy. I said good afternoon, good day, everyone from whichever time zone you are in. I'm Dr. JCM Mercy. I am a medical doctor. I'm a public health advocate, particularly SDG3 and SDG4 advocate. I'm also serving as a content team lead at O Initiative, a non-profit organization that works for advocating for sickle cell people living with sickle cell disease and for blood donation drive. And I currently work in Ekiti State, particularly Ekiti State University Teaching Hospital. I look forward to speaking with you this afternoon, and I trust it's going to be a very nice
evening. All right, thank you very much for that one, Doctor. And today we shall be talking about matters of the heart. I'm sure you're wondering, matters of the heart, and I'm bringing in a doctor. What's she going to be talking about, right? It's the Love Month. Just last week we were celebrating St. Valentine's Day. But I mean, however we want to take care of our emotionally heart, how about the physical, the bodily heart? How are we taking care of that part of our body? Are we ensuring that what goes into our heart and then give us all those mushy emotions, that particular heart is healthy? And that is what we are going to be examining on the program today with Dr. Jesoyemisi, who is based in Ekiti State. My first question, Doctor, would be for you to explain to us, why is the heart so important? I mean, does it even function? Does it even have any function in our body? Is it something that we can do without? Why is it so important in our body? Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for that question. Yeah, the heart is a vital organ of the body, and it's very important. It's not something we can do without, actually, because it helps to pump blood to every part of the body, and every part of the body depends on the activity of the heart to actually survive. So the heart is very, very important. The heart is very important. Yeah.
Thank you so much for establishing that we cannot do without our heart. So whether you're a person with a disability, whether you're a person without a disability, you need the heart to be able to perform functions, in your body and outside your body. So what are the kind of, you can just give us examples of, ailments that can affect our heart. What kind of ailments are we talking about? When we say malaria, we know, okay, mosquito breeds malaria. When we say typhoid, people know it's a waterborne disease, So what kind of diseases, what kind of ailments can affect our heart?
All right. There are a number of ailments that can actually affect the heart. There are diseases that would say are particularly cardiovascular diseases. However, there are many other diseases that seem like they do not directly affect the heart, but they would affect the heart in the long run. But particularly for the heart, common things like hypertension, hypertension, all of those, hypertension can lead to heart failure in the long run if it is not well managed.
Heart attack and the like.
Then dyslipidemia, and I'll break that down. All of these cholesterol issues, fats, excessive fats in the body, abnormal fat level, yes, that would be to say it in very basic terms, can actually affect the heart. There's a way it actually causes deposits, and it affects the blood vessels, and ultimately it affects the heart. Then there are some other conditions that are not necessarily like cardiovascular conditions, very common issues. Malaria, for instance, could be, malaria could cause, because the blood cells are involved, if it's severe malaria, it could actually cause severe anemia, and ultimately that could lead to heart failure. And so these are, common things, things that we have to take care of.
Okay, so
taking care of even the heart and the heart. Not
go ahead, doctor.
Yeah, I think that would be all for that question.
Okay, so ultimately taking care of our hearts is the best thing to do. So in the case of the very common ones, hypertension, heart attack, and its relation to women, particularly women with disabilities. I know you talked about cholesterol earlier on, high cholesterol, obesity, and things like that earlier. And I know that a lot of us as women with disabilities, we experience what we call the sedentary lifestyle. A lot of us are mostly indoors. We don't, walking, traveling, going about activities, a form of exercise. So it helps you burn cholesterol, it helps you burn fat, and all of those things. But a lot of us are not predisposed to all of those things. And even getting to the hospital to have medical checks sometimes is equivalent, especially if you live in an environment where the hospitals are not accessible, and you cannot financially also access the ones that are available. It becomes a problem. So how can we, as women with disabilities, considering our peculiarities and challenges, take care of our heart in our own little corner where we don't have to spend so much, while still, maintaining good health, regardless of our kind of lifestyle, the sedentary lifestyle, and all of that?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. That's very important. The first thing is to know that even though it's more likely that someone with any disability would have a sedentary lifestyle, but there are still ways to go around it to still keep active, because we cannot overemphasize that physical inactivity has been found to be implicated in various diseases. Not recently, months back, there's actually, a time that is now allocated to celebrate, to commemorate the non-communicable diseases, because it's now seen that non-communicable diseases are the ones are even causing a lot of issues now, a lot of mortalities, diabetes and hypertension and all of that. So there are four major risk factors that have been outlined, and physical inactivity is one of them. So even for someone with a disability, there are still ways to be active. There are still ways to be active, and it takes intentionality sometimes. Just being intentional about the fact that, and that's why I really appreciate that this type of program is being put together to remind us that we are great people. We have so much to do on the earth, and so our hearts must function very well. We must be at our best. Our health must be fine, so that we can keep doing amazing things, on the earth. So it's very important that having that in mind will make us to. There actually are exercises that are even available for people, even if they are wheelchair bound. There are exercises. We refer to those exercises as upper body workouts. You can still, even if you're not moving every part of your body, there are still exercises that would help the heart that you can still do, using your hands, if that is possible, using just even sometimes your shoulders, using the upper part of your body. Aside inactivity is very importantly your diet. You have to pay attention to what you're eating, because maybe you might not be able to avoid some level of inactivity. Your level of activity might not be able to match up with just
a person without a disability.
Exactly. So you have to really now try to compensate with your diet. Everybody should do very good diet, okay? But for a person living with a disability, you want to do that to just kind of like strike a balance, so that if there's a little inactivity somewhere, I'm doing really better with my diet. You want to reduce your salt intake. You want to take a lot of fruits and vegetables. Those things will really help. You want to take a lot of water. Make sure that you are not eating so much calories, since you are not expending so much calories. We kind of understand, right? If we are not so active, that means we are not expending so much energy. So we should not overload ourselves with calories. You want to reduce your salt intake, like I said before. Make sure that you are not doing a restrictive diet, as it were, because we're in an era where we do not do restrictive diets again. Even if somebody already has a disease, we are no longer preaching the restrictive diet. However, you want to make sure that every class of food that you are eating is in the right proportion, the right portion.
Is in moderation.
Yes, and that would really, really help.
Okay, so you said there are 4 risk factors. You mentioned 2, exercise. You said the first one is exercise. The second one, diet. What's number 3?
Tobacco intake and alcohol.
Okay. No smoking, no drinking of alcoholic beverages.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 4.
Okay, that's 4 actually. Number 1 is physical inactivity. The second is unhealthy diets. Then tobacco intake and excessive alcohol. Yeah.
Okay, so tobacco intake is 3 and excessive alcohol is 4, right?
4, yes.
Yes, okay. So I like the fact that you mentioned the upper body exercise for wheelchair users. I like that fact. And I also like the diet thing you talked about, reduction of salt. Some of us, even when they put salt in our soup, when it's cooking, when the soup gets into our plate, we still put salt. All the foods, the compounds. Exactly. So, we might just be reducing our sodium chloride with potassium, taking in a lot of other fruits, to replace the intake of salt. Nobody says you should not take salt, but don't take 1 teaspoon of salt. It's too much. It's too much. And then, no smoking and alcohol, reduction of alcohol as well. Thank you so much, Doctor, for those highlights that you made, those risk factors. But I just would say that you mentioned some of extended diseases that could affect the heart. These diseases are not targeting the heart initially, but if they go on untreated, they might in turn affect the heart. And so we need to take care of our heart as women with disabilities. We need to, exercise regularly, engage in walking, stretching your muscles as best as you can. Would massage suffice for exercise? Doctor?
All right, not exactly actually,
okay.
But it's a good thing, but it would still not. The goal with exercise is activity, using the muscles and all of that. Yeah, so it's not. While that is already very good, it has its own important role on helping to relax the muscles. Ease tension and all of that. It's been found to even help a lot of people relieve stress, because stress really has bad side on health, even cardiovascular health. But it would not take the place of exercise. You would not say, for instance, I get a massage every day, so I don't think I need exercise. No, I would not.
I just wanted to clarify that. I have a woman with disabilities who say, at least once in a week I try to get my body massaged, and so she doesn't think she needs the exercise, as it were. But then you've made that clarity. Now, going back to checking our blood pressure, our pulses, and I would like you to enlighten us on this. I mean, this is another way we can protect ourselves. So if you can afford it as a woman with disability and you are able to get maybe a blood pressure monitoring device or something that you can always use in your house, or you go to the hospital, at what numbers, what should you be looking out for? How often should you carry out the test, to ensure that you're fine?
All right. Thank you very much for saying that, because it's very important. One thing I left out is that you should do a regular checkup. Actually, you should have regular checkup being done. So for the blood pressure check, if you have your own device, it will not be out. In fact, it would be good to have your blood pressure checked 3 times every week. You have the device at home, so you can go over the way, check 3 times weekly. And you want to look out for anything that's greater than systolic blood pressure 140, diastolic 90. So if you are using an automatic BP reader, for instance, you're going to see a figure up, which is usually higher than the one that's down. So you see two figures like that, the BP reading. So one greater than 140/90, you have two readings that are greater than 140/90. You should report, see the doctor immediately. And then the pulse rate should be between 60 and 100. So if you have anything lower, you have to get test done. You probably have to do ECG, echo, to check the state of your heart. And if it's above 100, there are other things other investigations that will be done. So if you see any of those, I would say that again, greater than 140/90, and your pulse rate should be between 60 and 100. Anything aside that, you should see a doctor as soon as possible.
Okay. Thank you very much for that one. So women with disabilities out there, and if you have access to these machines, they don't cost so much. If you can have it, you might want to do yourself a whole lot of good. And it also saves you the stress of having to walk into a health facility all the time to check your blood pressure, to check your pulse. You can also see pharmacies around. I know some pharmacies have this facility and they charge a token. So a token for you to stay healthy, I don't think is too much. And the doctor says that usually the normal reading should not be more than 140/90. That is the first upper reading, 140, and then the lower reading, 90. As you said, the pulse, the one you use to check your pulse and all of that, should be between 60 and 100. Anything above or below, you need to see a doctor. And when we want to do this test, doctors, at the appropriate time of the day, should we have done something before we take out this test, or how best can we determine a good result?
Okay. You mean the machine, right?
Yes. I mean, when you're checking your blood pressure, should you, for instance, in pregnancy, if you want to do PT testing, for instance, some people say, oh, your very first urine in the day. Some people say it doesn't matter, So when is the best time? Is it immediately we are awake, when we have just finished eating? Well, when should we do this test?
Okay, you can actually check when you can actually check in the morning, maybe after, getting out of bed. But that doesn't mean that you cannot check anytime in the day, so that someone will not say, oh, I didn't check when I just woke up, and so I can't check during the day. Because, for instance, when you come to the hospital, you're not just waking from the bed, so any other time would be fine. Okay, you can just have a regular time so that you would always remember it to be a routine. And permit me to add, in case you do not have a BP machine of your own yet, so you won't be like, oh, we're told to do it twice weekly, so since I cannot keep up with that, I wouldn't just bother. If it's just weekly, you can keep up with, maybe you have to do it somewhere else, maybe the health center closest nearby, or maybe a pharmacist, that you have to do it. Maybe you're going to be paying a token and you think that's what you can afford. Just ensure that you're doing it regularly. However, if you have the recorder at home, of course, there should be no hindrance to doing that at least 2 times weekly.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Jesoyemisi. You've heard it from her. Make sure you're checking your heart regularly. Do your vitals very regularly. If you could do routine checkups at the hospital, please go ahead and have it. We want you to be healthy so that we can continue this fight of inclusion together, if you know what I mean. We need to stay alive. We need to stay healthy. We need to stay good in our body, in our soul, in our spirit. And taking care of your bodily heart, your physical heart, would ensure that your emotional heart is also healthy. It's safe and sound. Dr. Jesoyemisi, I'd like you to give your parting shot. What would be your closing, your word of advice, or anything you have to say to our viewers this morning?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And this is so amazing. Yeah, I want to encourage everyone out there. You are so amazing, and there's an amazing purpose for your life. That we need you to be here, just like she said. For the inclusion, the fight for inclusion, we need you here, and what you're doing is super amazing. So keep paying attention to your health, because of course the world needs you. There are so many amazing things that you can do. So we need you strong, and we need you healthy. And I love you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I hope when we do call on you again for another topic of health discuss, you will oblige us, right?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you, amazing women, amazing viewers out there. Thank you for being on this package with me, Oluwatomisin Adeyefa, on behalf of the co-host on Beautiful Outstanding Ladies with Disabilities Television, right here on Facebook and YouTube. I want to say a big thank you to you. Thank you for always being there with us. Thank you for joining us on today's edition. And please do join us again next week when we shall have something different to talk about, something that it would be impactful, educative, informative, and entertaining as well. If you have enjoyed this package, please do like, comment, share with your friends, folks, and people around you. We're calling on your sponsorship. We want your support in any kind of form. Reach out to any of the co-hosts, myself, Oluwatomisin Adeyefa, Osaki Teresa George Real, Afyong Etim, Preki and your SN, reach out to any one of us, Florence Marcos or Oge, and then get to us. We will be willing to talk to you about the program. Continue staying healthy. Continue being, good wherever you find yourself. Until next week, from me, I say bye-bye.
This is Bold TV.